Welcome to Concise Game Reviews. I'm your host, Rallycar Delta. Today's review is for Grid Legends by Codemasters. The game is available on PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5 devices. Grid Legends is the fifth installment of the Simcade, that's half simulation, half arcade racing series, and is the first game released by Codemasters under the umbrella of their new parent company, Electronic Arts. The racing game genre has experienced a series of high-profile releases lately, with the two big names in the room being Forza Horizon 5 and Gran Turismo 7. Grid Legends attempts to carve out its own place in the genre by being the racing game with a dramatic story, and by squarely focusing on GT-style racing. Getting straight to the point, Grid Legends impresses with how approachable the game is out of the box. Even the most novice driver will be up and racing in no time. But for the player who prefers to push the limits, the game's settings can be adjusted to provide a much more sim-like environment. When it comes to the single-player experience, Codemasters attempts to change up the typical race game formula by providing a documentary-style story. In between races, the player is treated to a live-action drama about a racing team that has one final chance to prove their worth. The story is okay for the most part, and while I wouldn't consider it a strong selling point of the game, it's nice to see Codemasters go the extra mile to immerse the player in the world of GT racing. The strongest pillar in Grid Legends is, without a doubt, the racing mechanics themselves. Regardless of how the player chooses to approach the game, the races look and feel authentic. Codemasters does an excellent job of translating a track experience to the player, and they do it with a sense of speed and weight that is often hard to replicate in racing games. I found I enjoyed almost every single type of vehicle and game mode that was offered. Unfortunately, for those looking for the raw content of a typical Forza or Gran Turismo game, you probably won't find that here. While the game does provide a plethora of vehicles, tracks, and events, it's a much more focused game. Additionally, several of the vehicles feel very much the same. I was often left wondering what the difference was between two different types of cars and sometimes entire classes of vehicles. Remember, Grid Legends is specifically a GT racing experience, and the amount of content reflects that. On the upside, multiplayer works very well and is woven seamlessly into the package, if one chooses to use it. I found myself creating or joining multiplayer sessions on numerous occasions, and I usually have a good time. Overall, Grid Legends is one of the better grid games by Codemasters. The focus on approachability and flexibility means anyone can load it up and have a good time. As for content, there's plenty to experience, but it falls short in some ways. I personally enjoyed Grid Legends, and I suspect those looking for a racing game that isn't trying to imitate the big names in the market will find an engaging experience here. Remember, your mileage may vary. Thanks for tuning in to Concise Game Reviews. This is Rallycar Delta, signing out.